Welcome to the British American Business Council of New England webinar. Since 1986, the Council has been dedicated to helping US and UK companies succeed in their transatlantic business endeavors. For details, check out our website at www.BABCNE.org. Today, I'm joined by Shabbeer Syed, CIO of BraunWeiss Management Consulting Group and industry veteran. He will be discussing remote collaboration technologies, focusing on utilizing productivity tools during COVID-19 environment. He'll address common challenges in keeping your teams connected and your clients informed while providing technology solutions and tips to achieve operational continuity. Thank you for being here today, Shabbeer.
Thanks, Chetan, for the nice introduction. Myself, Shabbeer Syed. I thank this opportunity to do this webinar for British American Business Council of New England. The topic that we have today is how to collaborate remotely with your clients and with your teams with the COVID pandemic around.
Great.
Quick introduction, myself, Shabbeer Syed. I am COO, CTO at BraunWeiss Management Consulting Group. We focus on strategic and financial transformations as well as digital transformations as a part of our consulting services. The agenda that we are going to cover today is COVID-19 and remote working, how it has evolved. All of us are aware of that, and how technology solutions can be leveraged to improve the productivity and collaboration with teams as well as with clients. Likewise, some of the document management techniques and cybersecurity requirements that we would have to keep in mind while we are working remote. COVID-19 and remote working. As you are all aware, COVID-19 forced companies all of a sudden to work remotely, and it had an astronomical impact on sudden shifts of tens and thousands of employees from on-site working to remote working. And both companies and employees their lives were disrupted with all the changes that came in, and work-life balance of employees was certainly impacted with this. And in response to this COVID-19 situation, companies to adapt to new way of working remote, but there are security and control issues that came up. So working remote is good in terms of companies being able to adapt. That's because technologies are available out there. But now we have to focus on more from a security and controls perspective, how to make sure that the employees who are working remote are not impacted by any malwares or cyber criminals, or data is not lost as a part of cybersecurity concerns that we have out there. And as we all know, remote working will continue to be the norm for both essential and non-essential workers as the future goes. And there are some studies that were made available a few weeks back, which says that new norm, even though we are in the new normal, even after COVID-19, we continue to work remotely.
Great.
So that takes us to the first topic, which is what are the technology solutions that can be leveraged or help or enhance productivity and collaboration with teams. So this is from an employer perspective, how a number of teams within a company can work together, make sure that they are on track of all the tasks that they have, and also able to deliver their objectives goals towards a part. So some of the tools that we can leverage as a part of remote working. The first one is obviously video conferencing, and we have instant messaging, group chat applications, and for all these productivity tools, we also have reports and analytics that are available through these applications. And all our employees and team members should be familiar with tools and technologies that a particular company is using. In terms of video conferencing, if we have to look at, there are a number of products out there. There is Microsoft Teams, there is Zoom, there is WebEx, there is GoToMeeting, you name them all. But what is important from a company's perspective? If a company is already using Microsoft Teams, you need to adapt to Microsoft Teams as a tool for your video conferencing. The good thing with Microsoft Teams is it has interconnectivity with your Office 365 applications. It integrates with SharePoint Online, etc. But if some companies are using other tools like GoToMeeting, for example, they would have to continue using GoToMeeting for video conferencing and will have to switch for other tools, which might be, for example, if they have to use email, they have to go to Outlook. If they have to use SharePoint, they have to go to SharePoint, while for video conferencing, they make use of either GoToMeeting or WebEx meetings. So video conferencing has evolved. It has its own challenges. If you have, all of might have noticed that during this pandemic, we were technically more prepared to take on this challenge. Few companies are already using most of this. Few companies who always go by traditional way of working, which is working from office, never anticipated this coming, the COVID situation coming. Now that we are there, they adapted to a video conferencing application or tool to work through and manage their work, day-to-day activities and day-to-day work. Let's look into some of the video conferencing features that can be leveraged by a team. A team, if I'm a project manager or a manager or a consultant, whoever I am, I can make use of video conferencing. I can schedule meetings using my Outlook or similar email application, and I can make use of Outlook calendar to look into my team members' availability. Based on that, I would go ahead and set up those meetings. I'll include a Teams link so that my team members can join. By scheduling a meeting, I'm also making sure that my team members are available to meet with me to discuss on a particular task, and I would set up an agenda and work with them during that meeting as a part of video conference. And these video conferencing tools are available across the platforms. It can be available on a Windows platform or on a Mac platform or even on Linux platforms. And they are available across many devices and any online browser that's out there in the market. Whether it's Microsoft Teams or Zoom meeting or WebEx meetings, all you need to do is click on the link that is there in the meeting invite, and it will automatically take you to that particular meeting. And we can also invite external guests, our external vendors or clients or customers, by using their email address. And when we include them in the meeting invite, they would receive the same meeting link and click and access that particular video conference. During the conference, we can chat if there are, like as you can see here, if there are 9 people in the video conference, if I want to pass on a message to one of the team members, or hey, what's going on? How do I answer this question or whatever? So that capability is there in most of the video conference tools. But if you look at Microsoft Teams, it has more capabilities there. You can group chat, you can by project, you can group chat by a particular meeting, or you can group chat by a particular team. So depending upon how you want, you can have that group chat capabilities. Likewise, you can manage chat one-on-one or one-to-many while the meeting is in progress. Likewise, we have many other tools. As you know, while you are working remote, and if you are doing a brainstorming session, you would always look for a whiteboard so that you can draw your ideas on the whiteboard and explain people better that this is what you're thinking, and then the other team member will also contribute to that whiteboarding session. This is also possible while you are online in a video conference by using digital whiteboard. This is another tool that's available within some of the applications out there. where you can have this whiteboard session started. The whiteboard will be shared during the video conference, and you can draw your ideas on the whiteboard. And the best piece is any team member who is a part of that particular meeting can also collaborate, add, contribute to that particular whiteboard, and then make it more collaborative effort and come up with more ideas. It's as good as doing a whiteboarding session in an office or a conference room. It's just that you are doing it over a digital framework. And during that video conference, you can collaborate with documents. Your client, if you're having a client video conference, you can, if client says, hey, can you share that document with me? During that session, you can just drop the document into the chat window of the meeting so that the client can receive that particular document. And you can also have a, you store this video charts as well as video recordings, like how we are recording this session today. And you can play them whenever you want. And particularly this will be useful if you're having training sessions. For example, you may have to attend a very important training, but unfortunately because of client commitments, you couldn't make it. But if somebody has recorded the training session, you can play the training session and watch it whenever you want and go through the training. And of course, for a good video conferencing, you need a very good internet connection, as well as you need to set up some professional environment. You need to really dress up well and make yourself in a calm place within homes. Within your home, we all know that how challenging it is working from home, particularly with kids, with competing. If your wife or your partner or spouse is also working and you are under the same roof, and at the same time, if you have two video conferences or two meetings happening, then things become a bit challenging, and then you have to plan around that. And the other feature that is a part of video conferencing is, of course, sharing desktops. You can share the whole desktop of your team, of your laptop, or you can share a particular file and also take online notes and save them in your OneNote application. Desktop sharing feature is available across. You can give control to a particular person of your desktop if they want to do any kind of activity on your desktop. This would be more applicable for people in customer care or help desk. If you have a problem with your laptop, somebody can ask you to share your screen and also ask you to give control to them, and then they can work on your laptop to fix your laptop problems. So these are different features that are there in most of the applications, and these applications can be leveraged for a good video conferencing session, keeping in touch with all your team members, and either you can have organized scheduled calls daily, weekly, monthly, however you are organizing your team, or you can do ad hoc calls. You can do a group call, you can do a call directly to a person whom you want to have a quick question or ask something real quick. Moving on, the next topic as a part of team collaboration is instant messaging and group chat. We touched upon this a little bit while we were talking about video conferencing. If you are not in a call, if you're not in a meeting, you can still ask a quick question to a particular person through instant messaging. And if you want to create groups by projects, as I said earlier, or by teams, or by a particular topic, you can create group chats and keep sharing files, keep sharing ideas, or let people know that you have done your task so that the other person in the group can start working on that sequential task that needs to be completed as a part of that particular group engagement. So some basic things that you need to do is to update your status while working to be available. If you are not in a meeting, you need to make sure that you are available online so that people, if they have a question, either your team members, your manager, or anybody for that matter, can just quickly ask you a question. And you can collaborate live in real time. For example, if I want to know something about a status of a particular project, I can just quickly ask somebody, hey, as of last Friday, the project status was red. What is status as on today? Today being Monday or Tuesday. So you can get real-time information from that particular person if you are chatting with them. And of course, you need to install these applications while working remote. The good thing with these applications is you can install them. They are compatible to all smartphones these days, whether they are Mac OS or they are Android systems or any other mobile operating systems. You can install these applications. You can also install these applications across your iPads, your laptops, your desktops, whatever you have in your home. These applications can be installed. It all depends upon company policies. Some companies may restrict, some companies may not restrict. So if they are restricting you, there is still a possibility. All you need to do is work with your help desk team to make sure that application can be installed across all the devices that you make use of. This is particularly useful when working from home. That's because as we may have all experienced, internet bandwidth is really challenging when you're working from home. We will not have the same bandwidth connectivity how it is at work when compared to home. So if the bandwidth is weak, if your kids are playing with a video game or Xbox or whichever it is, that consumes a lot of your bandwidth. And if you are on a video conference, obviously people can't hear you, your screen may freeze, all those challenges will be there. But if you have it installed on your smartphone, you can directly have the call with the video enabled using your smartphone, which will two things will happen. One is your quality of the meeting will be really good. People can hear you, see you, talk to you. And second thing for you is you're not interrupting with your home bandwidth of internet, but you'll be working with your service provider's bandwidth of the cell phone with whom you have that service with. So that's the advantage of having installation of your instant messaging applications or group chat applications across all the devices that you have in the house. There are a number of applications again there. It all depends upon company. Every company uses different applications. Some companies use Microsoft Teams, which is a all-in-one suite for both video conferencing, calendar, group chats, instant messaging, making phone calls using the application. You can have instant messages, group chats, share documentation, collaborate, etc. And there are other applications like WebEx Teams, which is similar to what Microsoft Teams is. But it's just that it is a offering from Cisco. Depends upon which company, what is their current technology stack, because of that from. And always ensure that you are connected with your team, and within your team, you have to ensure that you are connected to the right person. If you are creating a group chat, make a group chat of all the team members who are working on that particular group or a project or a team. So that's part of it. And you can, as we discussed, you can utilize your screen or window sharing capabilities even while you are texting or chatting or in a group chat. You can utilize file sharing capabilities and also do live edits to the files. 4, 5, 6 people can edit a file online, and everybody's edits will be saved real time, and your version is always maintained and up to date in the SharePoint directory or wherever or OneDrive or Google Drive, wherever it is, the document is having all the live edits captured. And with instant messaging and group chats, the biggest advantage is you don't need to wait on somebody's email response. You can get instant response on small things like, hey, I need to leave early. because I have to take care of my kid. I have to take him to a hospital, whatever. If you want to let your manager know 2 hours in advance, you can text him through group chat, through instant message, and let him know instead of sending an email and waiting for the person to get back. If your manager has any concerns, he can immediately respond and say, okay, no problem. Or he can say, okay, can you move it to tomorrow? We have an important client meeting today, whatever. So it all depends upon. So that's the biggest advantage of instant messaging and group chats while working with your teams. Productivity tools. The next topic that we have is how to make use of productivity tools while working remote with your teams. Of course, all of us know email is one best way to communicate to all the people on your work status, on what you are working on, and anything for that matter. If you are waiting on somebody to move with your tasks, so that's the best way to communicate. And email is from either from Outlook or depending upon companies. If some companies may use Google G Suite, or some companies may use Lotus Notes. It all depends upon which company, what application you are using. And other productivity tools that you can really make the best use of are tools like Microsoft Planner, tools like Project Ops or Jira software, and also file storage and document sharing tools such as SharePoint. So these are some of the productivity tools that will make your life really easy. You can have one collaborative SharePoint site for your project or number of projects that you are working on, and all your data can be to SharePoint. The data can be accessed either by laptop or by your smartphone or by your iPad, wherever you want, you can access them. And using applications like project management or task management applications like Microsoft Planner, Project or Jira will help you to work as a team and collaborate and track day-to-day activities. Planner is a very good application that's out there in the market that is again offered through Microsoft Office 365. If you make use of that for quick, small tasks, it has good capabilities. You can add people, assign tasks to different people in that particular planner, and also you will be notified when your task is completed by the person whom you have assigned the task. Jira and DevOps are more for software development lifecycle type of projects, where if you are in Scrum or sprints, you can make use of this kind of project management tools. Or if you are in a normal project management project where you are doing waterfall implementations, then you can make use of Microsoft Project Plan or something similar to that. So those are some of the productivity tools that you should be aware of as a team member working remotely, and making use of these productivity tools will always enhance and make your work and life balanced, because you're not wasting time doing any kind of paperwork or having data on your laptop. And when your manager or somebody wants to know where that particular file is, after 5 p.m., you don't need to, log into your laptop and say, okay, I'll send you if you want that. If you have it in SharePoint, anytime manager or whoever can access that and take a look at that particular document. Reporting and analytics, yes. So this is very important, particularly if you are a manager managing a team. You can monitor the usage of your productivity tools, your collaboration tools by your team. For example, you can monitor the usage of SharePoint. You may notice that a particular SharePoint site is running out of size. That's when you can either increase the size, or you can talk to a particular team member and ask him what is the important data that's out there, what data can be deleted, and you can clean up that SharePoint site. or OneDrive for that matter, or Google Drive for that matter. Likewise, you can also monitor usage of your video conferencing. You may notice that in your team, one particular user is not using video conferencing a lot. His usage rate is very low, which means you can, when you have your one-on-one meeting, you can give feedback to that particular individual and say, hey, I noticed that you're using less video conferencing. Do you have any issues? Are you not being a part of the team? Or you can give a constructive, positive feedback and make the team member be more productive and be a part of your team. So that's the kind of usage monitoring analytics are available straight from these applications, and they are at your fingertips at any given point in time. Likewise, we can make use of Power BI, which is a Microsoft tool for analyzing all this analytics. If you are using an Office 365 suite and if you have Power BI license in it, you can definitely use all this usage analytics straight coming in out of your Power BI dashboards. And you can run this by your team and show them how they have been working on and has been and all that sort of things. In addition to that, it also gives you knowledge on how a particular bandwidth of a video conference call has been, how the quality of that particular conference call was, what went wrong. Is it on the cloud that we are having problems, or is it to do with your internet connectivity? So those analysis you can identify and make your application better, or work with the cloud support team of that particular application you are using to make it more efficient and more better for your team. Okay, so that's about how to work with your team members remotely, and what are the technologies, tools that we can leverage to effectively work with your team. Now we are shifting gears. We are moving on to how to manage client expectations while we are working remotely. So due to COVID-19, all of us are at home. We are working, and also we are not just working with our team. We need to make client communication, client engagement, being in touch with your client is a key part of your business, particularly if you are into sales or any kind of project services activities. So that's where you need to make sure that you are effectively communicating to your client, and obviously you're making use of tools like email, attachments, any kinds of highlights that you want to just quickly send out an update on where you are with your work, when the client can expect things to be completed from your side, some snapshot, a summary report, or something that you need to send. So email communication is the best way to send that information to them. And of course, video conferencing and dial-in meetings are important. In my case, with all my clients, I have weekly, and with some of my clients, I have monthly meetings. I make sure I have my calendar set up with the meeting invites, and I'll also make sure that the client has accepted that meeting, so that I know for a fact that on so and so date I have a video conference with X or Y client. So that's a good way of establishing a cadence in your working style, so that your client expectations are aligning with the way you are working remotely from your home. And effective minutes you have to make, and also you need to write down your action items, and you have to do follow-ups on your action items while you are on those meetings. These are really important. Again, it goes back to your communication to your clients. Keeping them over communicated is always good, because you are letting them know that, hey, from the last meeting, these are my action items, and this is where we are. If you have a problem, you need to let them know. If you are getting delayed, you need to let them know, so that they are not frustrated. Being remote, everybody is facing different challenges with work-life balance. And during those challenges, you don't want to add new problems like not communicating to your client until unless they reach out to you for an update. So that's communication is the key. The other aspect that we need to take care of while working with clients or internal teams is document management, cybersecurity. So cybersecurity investments are paying off for companies who are already into their digital transformation, and they have modernized their infrastructures. They train their employees to work remotely, and they also make sure that they have cybersecurity controls established. Most of the companies have secure network, and to enter into your work network, you would need virtual VPN access. So that's when those companies, you had to work with the company administration team, information security team, to get yourself the VPN access while working from home, so that you enter into the secure network of the company whenever you need to start your work and end your work. So that way, all hacks or malwares or any cyber attacks, you are protected. You are dealing with your internal PII data, and you are also dealing with clients' data. So information security is utmost priority when you are working remote. So that's the kind of aspect that one has to keep in mind. And there are number of programs every company runs. Some companies are in the beginning of their data management and cybersecurity maturity levels. Some have already matured. Whichever level you are in, the aspects that you need to keep in mind is data security and protection, how best you are protecting the data, and how data sign-in and data security is taken care in terms of, as I was talking about, the VPN access. And if you have enabled multi-factor authentication for your team members, whoever is logging into your network, are they logging in securely? Are they having the two-factor authentication enabled? All these aspects need to be considered. Data privacy and compliance, obviously, when you are handling with data, both internal confidential data or client's confidential data, it's very important to keep that, follow those compliances policies that are enabled from a company's perspective as well as from a client's perspective. As I was talking about the maturity levels of a particular client, you have every network would have firewalls management and network security, and these firewalls are configured so that you don't have again external attacks from anybody hacking into your network. And obviously, if you are a global company, if you are working for a global company, you will have compliances and regulations of different geographies, and your data policies that are there in your company, you should be aware of. And what are the regulations, local regulations, you should be aware of while you are working remote, and making sure that you are following them. The other aspect that's very important is the email encryption. Most of the companies, again, I'm talking about the matured companies, they have email encryption softwares, applications installed in their technology stack. If you don't have that, if you are working remote, there are many email encryption softwares out there. You can make use of those and send confidential data, encrypting that, and when it is transitioned from point A to point B through an email, your data is protected. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our session. Chetan, it has been a pleasure to share these thoughts about how to work remotely, collaborate with the teams, collaborate with clients, and I really thank for this opportunity, and will look forward to more such opportunities in future.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here, Shabbeer. This was all very helpful and informative. I know I'm going to use a lot of this information that you presented to me today going forward to help better the work with my teams and with my clients. So again, thank you so much, Shabbeer.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.